What is happening, awesome people? Coach Ishak checking in with you. And the second and third part are actually going to be continued via screen share just because I could be showing you guys what I want to be talking about as I'm talking about it, right? So first and foremost, I'm going to tell you to reference some of the articles that I have on my coaching site when it comes to like nutritional deficiencies and staying on top of your protein intake. And if you have no idea what to do in regards to your nutrition, I definitely recommend this as a resource to go. But I'm going to be actually breaking down some nutritional protocols. I'm going to be showing you guys the spreadsheet that I use with my one-on-one coaching clients. I'm not going to be showing you the entire spreadsheet for obvious reasons, but I will be going through it and just briefly touching on some of the protocols, right? Now, like I said, when it comes to our nutrition, if we could control it, not that much should change. I actually feel like if you've done your shopping or you're shopping or prepping in advance when it comes to your food, it's actually going to improve a lot of people's adherence just because you're going to be eating out less frequently, you're going to be preparing your own meals, so on and so forth, right? Now, when it comes to nutrition, it's important to understand that there's a lot of moving pieces to the puzzle, right? And there's a lot of moving pieces to the puzzle, and you can't really understand the big picture with a lot of these smaller pieces missing. Hence why I referenced the articles on my site when it comes to like protein intake and being aware of nutritional deficiencies. And generally 80% of the things we should be consuming should be coming from wholesome, minimally processed, micronutrient dense foods, right? And that other 20% we could allocate towards more unconventional foods, whether that be ice cream or pizza. But generally there's no food restrictions. Eat whatever the hell you want to eat. But as you can see right here on the left hand side of the screen, there are some options that I list out in regards to carb and protein sources, fat sources, protein and fat sources, and protein sources. Now, I don't know if you guys have been to the supermarket or grocery store as of late, but it is a madhouse. And there is people like literally fighting for groceries and toilet paper of all things. But don't deplete resources, guys. Don't be that person that depletes resources. You got to remember there are people who are a little bit more prone to infection, whether that be them being a little bit more elderly or immunocompromised or whatever the case may be. We should be saving those resources for the people who really need it. Right? But anyways, generally we should be prioritizing things like protein sources, right? Like chicken, eggs, beef, lean beef, tuna. Consuming a sufficient amount of protein every single day is probably one of the most important things we should be doing. And I literally went to 6 different grocery stores just to get some eggs. So if you can buy maybe a case or two, some chicken breast in advance, that's something I recommend you do. I also recommend you get some protein powder if you don't already have some. It's probably the most convenient way in regards to getting a protein feeding or protein bolus down, and protein powder generally lasts a really long time. I guess it depends on the size of the tub you're getting, but if you get like a 2-pound or 5-pound tub, it'll last you a while some of what's happening in our external environment blows over, right? Now, when it comes to like carb sources, I definitely recommend you go for like canned goods. Those are going to be things that last a little bit longer, or dry carbohydrates, whether that be rice or pasta or whatever the case may be. Generally, those things last a little bit longer when it comes to storage, okay? Now, if you're going to be spending a lot of time at home, which I feel like a majority of people are, you want to ensure that your internal environment is working with you and not against you, in regards to like if you literally have a bunch of junk food and cookies and chips and whatever the case may be, and your mind is going to be fixated on that, then it probably isn't the most productive of things to do to go and buy all those things in bulk, right? You want to ensure that your environment at home is still going to be an environment that allows you to thrive. Now, when it comes to eating out, when and if you eat out. You want to ensure that whatever you're consuming, whatever you decide to eat, isn't throwing you overboard in regards to whatever goal you have, whether that be fat loss related or you're just maintaining calories. So if you have a fat loss related goal and you're supposed to stay on top of your nutrition, that probably won't be the most productive of things to do, to get like a triple quarter pounder burger with cheese and a bunch of fries on the side, right? Just because the situation that is occurring externally is impacting us in different ways doesn't mean we say completely like fuck all to our goals and forget about them, right? The goal still needs to stay the goal, especially if it's important to us, right? Now, when it comes to specifics for nutrition, if you're in a fat loss phase, if you're dieting, if you're in a contest prep, as long as you keep the training efforts matching set volume for the main compound movement patterns you're supposed to be performing at the same level of intensity, or taking like a majority of your movements to a close proximity to failure, you'll be good in regards to maintaining your muscle mass, right? And I also feel like if you feel like you don't really want to continue with your fat loss phase or your contest prep just because of the situation that occurred, I definitely recommend easy thing you could do is just increase your calories up to maintenance. So that's generally 500 calories. Just bring it up back to maintenance, weigh yourself, see how your weight is fluctuating, and adjust based on biofeedback response, right? And in regards to, like, let's say you're bulking or you're in a surplus or you're in a gaining phase, the most important thing when it comes to that is you want a sufficient training stimulus that you're able to adapt and recover from, right? And I do feel like if our goal is to build lean body mass, that's a little bit hard to do with limited equipment. So that's just something you have to take into consideration for your specific goal, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to do. I will be simply just providing you like guidelines and what I think you should be doing, and you make the decisions for yourself. Obviously, I can get a little bit more nuanced with these recommendations and guidelines that I'm providing you, but I do want to keep it a little bit simpler for the basis of this video, so just something to be aware of. And this is actually going to conclude the second video to this 3-part series, so just stay tuned or click down below for the next video on training and the adjustments you could be making. Cheers, thanks for tuning in.